Hello. Today we will be evaluating the strengths and weaknesses of the humanistic perspective on an individual's personality development. Psychologists search for the definition of personality by studying similarities and differences between individuals' behaviors and overall identities while also looking within themselves. It has been found that one's personality is derived from a pattern in their behaviors and psychological characteristics amongst society. With it staying fairly consistent as life goes on, psychologists can determine how an individual may respond to life situations based on their personality. Within this presentation, we will focus on the humanistic perspective, where it is believed important to look at the entire individual and how one can fulfill their potential. Within personality, the humanistic approach studies how one's identity is formed by striving to be the best they can be. This can be seen within Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where he studied how individual needs are fulfilled from survival instincts into self-actualization. This is also discovered within Carl Rogers' person-centered theory, where he believed in the idea of free will to come to the state of self-actualization. Through looking at studies about online gaming in relation to the hierarchy of needs amongst coach-athlete relationships and parental unconditional positive regard, we will determine how this approach understands personality development. Simultaneously, we will regard the limitations to the hierarchy of needs through career choice in nursing students. Abraham Maslow and Carl Rogers are some of the leading psychologists within the humanistic field of psychology. Not only looking at the entire individual, they look at the positive side of personality development. On contrary to Freud's psychodynamic perspective, they believe conscious thoughts are not always motivated by unconscious desires and conflicts. Alternatively, Maslow believes humans have the innate drive towards self-actualization, a stage where an individual reaches their full potential and optimal level of psychological functioning. Similarly, Rogers believes in the idea of free will, where freedom within an individual determines one's actions towards personal growth. Looking further into the research and studies based on it, we will determine the strengths the humanistic approach holds on an individual personality development. Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs was created in order to describe how humans are motivated by needs to remove a state of imbalance. Our most important needs, seen at the bottom of the list, such as physiological needs, safety, and belongingness, are reliant for the top needs, cognitive, esteem, and self-actualization, to be met. Self-actualization is one of Maslow's key ideas, as he believes it is a state one reaches when they recognize all the individual is capable of. Consisting of many characteristics, these people tend to have efficient judgment of situations in line with reality, are open to spontaneity, have great appreciation for the world around them, and accept themselves and others with tolerance for flaws. After using Kaufman's self-actualization scale, it has been found to have significant correlations in life and job satisfaction and positive relations. In a study conducted in 2017 on personality in online gaming, the authors correlated Maslow's hierarchy of needs in virtual reality. In terms of physiological needs, users use the game currency to get desired resources that are necessary for their survival, and for security needs, it is in terms of usernames and the protection of real-world information. For love and belonging, users often want to feel part of the online gaming community, searching for friendships. Within esteem needs, the strongest and most experienced users are able to gain the recognition of other users and feel a status of achievement. Lastly, in self-actualization, users are able to learn new ways to approach situations and appreciate the identity they show that may be different to the one they share in the real world. Overall, it was found that the top most desired needs are more easily found in virtual reality, as there is a sense of anonymity. Carl Rogers created the idea of person-centered therapy as he believed in the concept of free will being used to self-actualize by striving to be fully functioning. He believes the individual should develop self-concepts, where they have beliefs of who they are and what influences their personality. In order to achieve this, one must have self-consistency in order to avoid conflicts between these concepts, and congruence, where the individual behaves in the way of their ideal self within reality. Having an incongruent self-concept can result in anxiety and problems in living. To change the individual's current behaviors, it is important to recognize the 3 innate psychosocial needs that foster positive relationships. These consist of genuineness, empathy, and unconditional acceptance. Rogers believes to achieve this capacity for growth, the counselor must provide a non-judgment environment and allow the individual to self-reflect. To analyze person-centered therapy, I have found 2 studies analyzing the effects of unconditional positive regards on athletes and children. In a study conducted in 2020, psychologists aimed to discover the effects coaches with unconditional positive regard may have on their elite figure skater athletes by using qualitative research in the forms of interviews. It is typically found for coaches to use physical, verbal, and emotional abuse on their athletes, as they perceive that will produce the best results. However, it has been found that genuineness and empathy, 2 characteristics in self-actualization, are proven to strengthen the coach-athlete relationships. After conducting the interviews, it was reported that conditional regard led not only to loss of trust in their coach, but also a decrease in sport motivation and formed a negative self-regard in athletes. With the coach displaying unconditional positive regard, athletes felt more comfortable making mistakes and could speedily recover within their performance. Additionally, the unconditional regard developed consistent positive self-regard in these athletes, enhancing their performance. Any form of regard from close relationships are internalized, soon making the individual see themselves in the same way. With this positive regard from their coach, athletes are now able to feel safe taking on risks and making mistakes without being deemed as a failure. Overall, this shows how using this therapy by displaying unconditional positive regard towards athletes seeks more benefits than conditional regard that is oftentimes used. Similarly, in a study conducted in 2015, parents using unconditional positive regard can improve their children's performance as well. In this study, it was determined that unconditional regard in terms of parental practices enhances the child's self-determination and improves behavior. Additionally, having a supportive emotional environment can improve the child's communication skills. The reaction to controlled regard from coaches to athletes is similar to that of parents to children, as the child may deem the environment as judgmental and controlling and later feel they do not deserve parental love and acceptance and are no longer valued within the family. Using this therapy in unconditional positive regard for parents can provide more effective practices that accept children's experiences and behaviors whilst growing up. While this approach has proven effective in determining personality development, it has limitations to the extent of its research. It is found that this approach is too subjective, as focusing solely on the individual's recollections can be biased. In addition, self-actualization is untestable scientifically, making it difficult to determine when an individual has reached this state. Lastly, in regards to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the lower needs are not always necessary to be met in order for the higher needs to be satisfied. This is seen in the study conducted in 2020 where they studied the relationship of self-actualization and nursing students. By comparing the results of first-year and senior-year students, it was regarded that senior-year nursing students had fewer obstacles to reaching the self-actualization step. Within the field of nursing, it is essential for these individuals to possess the qualities of a self-actualized person. However, within students, it was found participation in leisure activities and romantic relations led to more obstacles in obtaining these qualities. Overall, it was found that some of these lower needs, such as love and belongingness, do not need to be present in order for students to reach the step of self-actualization in the hierarchy of needs model, and rather these needs can sometimes be deemed as a hindrance. Overall, we can conclude that the humanistic approach on personality development has proven effective based on Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory and Rogers' person-centered therapy, while also holding limitations to this field of research. Here are my references, and thank you for watching.